Tom Phillips' Assassin's Creed Syndicate is out this week.
Cool, blimey, mate. Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
And we've put together a little list of things that might be useful to know about before jumping into Syndicate, if maybe you've skipped some of the previous Assassin's Creed games. Maybe you've seen this one. It's set in Victorian London. It's got collapsible hats.
It's got horse racing.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, why not? I'll give that a go. But you don't know the series that well. We've got a list of things that we're going to talk about that might transition a bit more.
It might make it more fun.
Yeah.
It's good to have a sort of vague knowledge of what's going on.
Sure. Okay, so starting at the top of the list. Are you ready for this? You are the expert here. I am very much coming from that other angle that I don't really know.
I've played every game. Hit me with your hard questions. Straight out the gate, what have we got? Question number 1.
Assassins, what are they all about?
Assassins.
More specifically, I guess, at this point in the story, what's their goal? What are they up to?
Generally, so they're a secret organization, and they are pretty good guys. They are against oppressive dictators. In the past, you killed a pope.
Yeah.
You were fighting against a king.
Who are also part of an organization called the Templars, right? So
all of them tend to be part of this evil organization, and then it's all
useful.
It's tending to be the assassins that sort things out.
Is that as straightforward as it is? Is it good versus bad?
It's not good versus bad. It's not completely black and white. The assassins, who are all about free will, whereas the Templars, they're all about humanity being controlled, but maybe sometimes humanity needs a bit of a push and a shove in the right direction because we're not doing so great.
Okay. So why can't they find a middle ground there? Why are they not friends?
They have a conflict going back hundreds of years. There's a lot of bad blood on both sides, and to be honest, Templars, they're not the most sane people, a lot of them.
Okay. So as Syndicate begins, why are you going back to Victorian London?
So, Victorian London is a cool place, as you say.
That's why Ubisoft are going there, I think.
Yeah. Assassins and Templars are interested in London specifically because both sides are chasing these super powerful historical items, and it's all about these things cropping up through history. And
I remember fighting the Pope for a magical apple.
Yeah,
that happened.
Yeah, this one you're fighting an industrialist for a magical shroud.
Okay,
which
cool.
You may also know as the Shroud of Turin.
Nope. Outside of the Assassins and the Templars,
yes.
Assassin's Creed also has a kind of modern day element to it. In fact, the whole game is set around, or has been in the past, set around the idea of people from the modern day using a machine called the Animus. Is that right?
Yeah.
Which simulates whatever time period.
And what you play isn't like, you're not actually in the past. You are playing a virtual version of the past, which is handy if you ever see a bug in an Assassin's Creed game, because it's just a bug in the Animus, man. Great Ghetto Clause.
Yeah.
So the Assassins are kind of a small group. They have cells all over, but the ones that the series focuses on are sort of a small group of people, and they're kind of on the run. And the Templars are very powerful, and they have this organization which is like a big umbrella company called Abstergo, who made the Animus.
Right.
And they have lots of money, and they are quite bad.
So how did the Assassins get access to that? This has been stolen from the Templars in modern day.
So, yes, they had their own version of the Animus, but in recent times it's been... you are just playing a video game in the video game.
Pardon?
Yeah, so Abstergo have just released these virtual histories so that they can sort of crowdsource people playing through these things, and then they can find where people are finding the
so Assassin's Creed,
magical
the
artifacts.
video game, is actually now sort of part of the...
Yeah, if you want to think about it like that. Ubisoft
By playing Assassin's Creed, we're helping the bad guys.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. What happened to Desmond? I remember Desmond being the modern day chap. He was our relatable hero that I'm not sure many people really liked that much in the first couple of games.
He was a bit of an average Joe, and you didn't get to spend a lot of time with him, but it was through his memories and his ancestors that you went back to see Altair in Assassin's Creed 1 and then Ezio.
Sure, but you're not playing as Desmond now, so who are you playing as then? Who is the main character of the game?
So they've kind of just removed the need to have a playable character in the modern day by making it so that anyone can go into anyone's memories. In the first few games, you had to be a descendant of the people whose memories you're experiencing. To be honest, after 5 games, the modern day plot got kind of convoluted, so they wrote out Desmond.
Do you think they had all this in mind when they wrote the story for the first Assassin's Creed?
It was originally going to be a trilogy, and I think they kind of finished the story of the overarching initial games, because Desmond was written out,
Mhm.
and the initial threat was resolved.
Sure. But they needed more reasons to
There are many more
travel around cool
mystical
cities.
artifacts made throughout history, and many more instances in cool cities where both the Assassins and Templars have been trying to get it.
That sounds like a video game. All right, the next thing on my list, and this is one that you've added for me, is just the word pre-civilization, which sounds like a potential Sid Meier game. But what does that mean?
So this
And what
is
do I
where,
need to know going into Syndicate?
this is where things get a little weird.
Oh right, this is okay. Good. Carry on.
So those artifacts that I
Yep.
was telling you about, they were all made a long time ago,
Before civilization.
before civilization, as you might have guessed, by a super powerful other race of beings.
Okay.
They are generally referred to as the first civilization, or pre-civ, or
Okay.
those who came before, which sounds a bit like He Who Must Not Be Named from Harry Potter.
So why do they matter in this game though?
They only matter because they are the people who made the artifacts, if you want to
Okay.
know why they've been made, and because one of them managed to escape where all of the others died out. One of them is kind of still hanging around, and when Desmond was written out, he did so by saving the world, which is a pretty good way to go.
Nice.
But in doing so, he activated this ancient plot which returned the consciousness of one of these first civilization people. And they're not
Desmond.
very nice people, I
Right.
should hasten to add, and this was a particularly nasty one, Juno. And she now sort of exists in the ether.
So how do the Assassins and the Templars feel about Juno?
Well,
Have either side aligned with?
no,
Him or
although
her?
it's a her.
Yeah.
The Templars are sort of more aligned with her because they are researching first civilization, because they're interested in their power, they're interested in maybe bringing one back,
Mhm.
and then using the abilities that they had for their own ends. But the Assassins
Classic evil
I know.
organization there.
But the Assassins and the Templars are the only people who really know about this civilization. This
Okay.
is the great secret that they keep.
Okay, so we mentioned Juno and Desmond. Well, are there any other characters from previous games that it might be useful to know about before Syndicate?
So, without spoiling any of Syndicate, obviously, it does reference quite a few characters from the series past, and fans who know of them will appreciate that, and people who haven't experienced previous games, it's not that much of a big deal, but
Okay.
it's worthwhile knowing, for instance, that the Kenway family, who were in Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, Edward Kenway, your pirate assassin,
Mhm.
the guy who drove around the
Yep.
boat, sailed a boat, don't really drive a boat.
No, not really.
He settled in London after his pirating days were done, so, you know,
Might be worth keeping that in mind.
that might be worth
when you're
keeping
playing a
in
game
mind.
based in London after that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you know what? It keeps things pretty simple. Ubisoft have done a good job yet again of keeping the game standalone, but more than ever for fans, there is lots of stuff to
Plenty of fan service
discover.
for that kind
Yeah,
of
lots
like-
and lots of
okay.
Easter eggs to unlock.
Cool, but that's a good point to mention. Without invalidating this video too much,
Yeah, thanks for watching. But
here are the things that you might need to know. But if you don't know them, generally, like Syndicate can be played as your first experience with Assassin's Creed.
yeah, by no means is any of this knowledge a prerequisite for enjoying the game, and like the game has an insanely large database of characters, and if anything is mentioned, then you're like, oh, there's a little log that pops up.
Sure. Cool. All right, then. Thanks, Tom. Those are the things that we need to figure out. The title of this video was the things that you might like to know about Assassin's Creed Syndicate before you play Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
You might like to know these, yeah.
Excellent. Cheers.
Bye.
Okay, so kill the foreman, free all children, do not trigger the alarm.